We got Bruiserweight action coming at you. Brandon, aka Babe Lincoln, playing as Ronald Reagan, versus Nehemiah, aka Heinz Mayo, playing as Tim Ryan. Let's see how they play turn one. We got big conservative 2 pips there for Babe Lincoln, as Nehemiah elects to go the Old South route to kick things off on turn one. If I sound like crap, it is because I feel like crap. I believe I have the flu. Been isolated in the guest bedroom, and calling this game is keeping me sane. Let's see what we got for a big conservative boost here. 45% for Babe Lincoln. Not a lot of national group action going for Heinz Mayo. So that is why he's electing to go the state group route to kick things off. After this turn, we'll take a look at the current Bruiserweight rankings. See where these two stand. Big conservative, how big of a bonus will that be? 72.5. He also enters evangelical. So, big national group advantage for Babe Lincoln, but in the meantime, Heinz Mayo gets that Old South bonus and gets set up for the swing state bonus. 55K in Old South. Meanwhile, Babe Lincoln picks up that 72.5 in big conservative. I think he also had a 45, yes, in evangelical too. So we'll see if Heinz can keep up by collecting state groups. Let's take a quick peek at the rankings of these two. You can see Big Mac here, or excuse me, Babe Lincoln, rather, ranked number 5, and Heinz Mayo ranked number 3, 5 wins, 3 losses, 1 submission. Babe Lincoln, 3 wins, 2 losses, 1 win via submission. So both of these Bruiserweights have a shot still at climbing the rankings and ending up in the top 2 to get a shot at that Bruiserweight championship. As Babe Lincoln enters into Florida, puts pressure in Georgia, Michigan to the 3rd for Heinz, pressure in North Carolina from Babe, New Hampshire to the 3rd, Pennsylvania to the 3rd, Virginia, a perfect block executed by Heinz Mayo, and that block, I think, may secure him the swing state bonus. It does. A perfect block, just enough defense there to block Babe Lincoln. That swipe in Virginia would have taken away both state groups, so that was pivotal for Heinz Mayo to block that. And so far, it is working for him to get that state group advantage and ignore those national groups. We'll see here if Babe Lincoln is able to take away potentially both of those state groups with a big swipe here in one of the Old South states. A nice play there by Heinz Mayo to get swing states without going into Florida. Excuse me. Well played so far by Heinz. He is up almost about 80K here, even though he has 0 national groups to 2 national groups for Babe Lincoln. see, turn 4, Arizona entered by Heinz. There's the evangelical. I didn't realize that he had yet to get that evangelical bonus. He has it now. Iowa entered. Maryland entered. Pressure in Michigan. New York entered by Heinz. South Carolina entered. So instead of trying to go for a swipe, Babe Lincoln elects to get that evangelical bonus, putting him at about 127K combined national group bonus. But as you can see, that does not even reach the total of that swing state bonus that Heinz has, as Heinz already moves up to New York and is able to spread out in swing, as well as Old South, making it harder for Babe Lincoln to take away those state groups. After this turn, we'll take one more look at the rankings and just kind of go an overview of where all the Bruiserweights stand currently and show the route that these two have to still end up in those top 2 rankings, as Arizona's brought to the 3rd. Big money spent in Georgia as it is locked in by Heinz. Iowa to the 3rd for Heinz. Maryland to the 3rd, but pressure there by Babe. Babe tries to go for the swipe in Michigan, but it is blocked by Heinz. Another great block. He is, however, able to get a big swipe in North Carolina, as South Carolina is brought to the 3rd from Heinz as well. Pressure by Babe, but a huge block in Michigan, spending 90K to block 180K. However, North Carolina is swiped. Let's take a look at those rankings again here. So we see Babe Lincoln, he's ranked number 5 right now. He's only has 2 losses. I am currently ranked number 2 with 8 wins, 3 losses, and 2 wins via submission. I am done for the season. So I finished with 3 total losses, 2 submissions. So you see Babe Lincoln only has 2 losses so far. He could easily climb those rankings. Nehemiah, at the number 3 ranked now, he's got 3 losses, but his submission win was against me. He made me tap out. So as he finishes out the season, even with a win here, could easily hop into that number 2 ranked and kick myself out of the first championship match for that Bruiserweight title. Let's see how Babe Lincoln plays this turn. He puts pressure in Arizona and in Iowa. No Michigan swipe, but insurance spent there. North Carolina is locked in, but it is instead blocked. Heinz going for that swipe back of North Carolina, but Babe does not allow it. So big money spend there, big money block. 170K to block, almost 300K from Heinz. As we get close to evening back out money-wise, do we see a big swipe attempt here in a state like Pennsylvania, or maybe a surprise attempt again at Michigan? Babe wanting to get that swing state bonus and also prevent the AA bonus from happening. Tim Ryan has a 10% AA boost. For now, Heinz is holding off on getting New York to the 3rd as he has to defend these swing states. So selfishly, as the number 2 ranked Bruiserweight, I am rooting for Babe Lincoln to take down Nehemiah, a.k.a. Heinz Mayo. I have to hope that he gets a couple more losses, because if he ends up near the same record I have and he made me tap out, then he clearly gets that ranking over myself. As he enters into Alabama, pressure in Florida. Michigan, there is the big swipe in Michigan. A swipe by Babe Lincoln in Michigan, as Heinz defended the swipe that didn't happen in Pennsylvania, but it does happen in Virginia. 2 huge swipes taking away swing state. The swing state bonus. Babe Lincoln does not obtain the swing state bonus, but he does take it away from Heinz Mayo for the time being. A big swipe in Michigan, and just ekes out the swipe in Virginia as well. Heinz was expecting a swipe in Pennsylvania. That did not happen. As we see now, after those swipes and a big spend in a spot that he didn't need to, now we see that national group money start to come into play. Babe Lincoln able to swipe that swing state bonus away, and that's a huge money, 30% boost there. So that's $130K that Heinz Mayo was getting that is now gone per turn. Do we look for him? Do we see some clash in Florida, or does Heinz elect to go that New York route and get Town and Gown and work towards AA? But it'll be harder for him to get AA now that he has lost Michigan, he has lost North Carolina, and just barely loses Virginia. Right now, the number 1 ranked bruiserweight by a long shot is Peter, a.k.a. Triple S. He has, I believe, 4 submission wins, so very dominant victories. He's one that could end up being a heavyweight one day, as we see a swipe in Arizona, 1-pip swipe from Babe Lincoln, as Heinz goes to the 3rd in Florida. And a swipe in Iowa, 1-pip swipe in Iowa as well, as Babe locks in Michigan. We see a swipe in New Hampshire. So instead of fighting in Florida, he locks in Virginia as well. Instead of fighting in Florida, he takes away those other swing states, not allowing Heinz to get that swing state bonus back. Does not fight him in Florida for the time being. Instead, gets 1-pip ahead in Arizona, in Iowa, and in New Hampshire. 3 beautiful 1-pip swipes. As right now, Heinz has Florida, so that's 100K, 137. He's at 197. I think the swing state bonus, you need like 205 or 208. So Babe Lincoln expertly predicts that Heinz will go to the 3rd in Florida, and instead of clashing, takes away that swing state bonus elsewhere. Now I'm interested to see what the move will be. If Babe will try to swipe Florida, or maybe we will see some low spending here, maybe locking up North Carolina, and maybe try to start building towards Texas and California. Ooh, we have a swipe attempt that is blocked and locked by Babe Lincoln. Arkansas entered here. Big money spent in Florida, but nothing going. Big money spent in North Carolina to lock it in for Babe, as he enters into Nevada as well. Ooh, New Hampshire, the swipe attempt is blocked, and it is locked by Babe as he enters into Wisconsin as well. So big money spent there. No swing state bonus picked up from either competitor. But we see we might end up with a pretty close just draw on swing state here. Babe is looking to pick it up here, getting Wisconsin and Nevada, but there's not going to be a whole lot of places to go. except for trying to swipe Florida, but Heinz has a big lead in Florida now. Might want to consider bailing on swing for the time being and saving up some money to move into California and Texas. You know, Michael Jordan had the flu game, I think, in the playoffs in the 90s, and ended up still winning the NBA Finals. Here I am commentating a political strategy game with the flu. Basically equally as cool as we have a swipe in Iowa and lock by Heinz Mayo. Pressure in Louisiana from Babe as we have some insurance spent in Maryland. Pressure in Mississippi. Pressure in Nevada as that's brought to the third, as well as Wisconsin. So I think we will see the swing state bonus. Oh, it actually goes to Heinz because of the swipe in Iowa, the swipe and lock. The swing state bonus goes to Heinz. But if I am Babe Lincoln, I'm fine with that. Why? Because a lot of spots locked in. And I doubt you're going to see a swipe attempt in Florida or Pennsylvania. So right now, Babe can just save up and try to move into California and Texas, being happy that he delayed the AA and Town and Gown bonus for a long time. He was able to lock up Virginia and North Carolina and Michigan and Arizona, some key swing states. We don't get a low spend. Instead, we get a swipe in Alabama from Babe. We have a clash in D.C., so they're going to be fighting it out for the AA bonus. Clash in Delaware. Ooh, money spent in Florida. I guess that's the only place to spend that swing state money, as Babe swipes Louisiana as well. Massachusetts and Maryland, money spent. A swipe in Mississippi, too. I think we're going to see that Old South bonus go. Yes, we will, as we have a swipe in South Carolina. Babe is preventing that AA bonus from happening. Swiping a ton of Old South states there to pick up that Old South bonus and prevent that AA bonus from happening. Though we do not see Heinz go to the third in New York, he goes to the second. We saw clashes in D.C. and Delaware. Babe is the only one in Illinois and the only one in Tennessee right now. You have to imagine we're going to see New York and Massachusetts be brought to the third pip here to get that Town and Gown bonus for Heinz, as Colorado is entered by Babe, D.C. to the third for Heinz, Louisiana money spent by Babe, Massachusetts to the third, there it is, New Mexico entered by Babe, New York to the third for Heinz, Pennsylvania nearly locked in, Texas entered, there's the move finally to Texas, as AA bonus and Town and Gown is picked up by Heinz. Two big bonuses, 110K in AA bonus and 82.5 in Town and Gown. Babe getting set up to get oil and gas as well as manufacturing bonus on this turn. But does he instead of getting that on this turn, do we see him go to California? Because he does not want to get three-cornered here by Heinz. Heinz is working on getting that high-tech bonus to help him get California as he entered into Utah. He has control of Pennsylvania and Maryland. Those aren't going anywhere. Massachusetts. And he can get the advantage there in D.C. or in Delaware as well. See how they play it. Colorado to the third for Babe as Connecticut, another high-tech state, is entered. D.C., big money spent there to stay. Delaware to the third. Florida, more money spent there from that swing state money. Louisiana is locked, but we will go back because big money spent to try to swipe there from Heinz is failed as he locks in Maryland. Minnesota entered and Nebraska, so Babe is also getting set up to take agriculture. As it appears, Pennsylvania's locked. It appears he did go to Texas. He does, so he's going to pick up some huge bonuses here. And it looks like we might see high tech picked up, possibly. No high tech yet, but oil and gas and manufacturing picked up by Babe Lincoln. 78.5K for each. A huge block in Illinois, knowing that Heinz was going to try to block that oil and gas bonus from being had. A great turn there for Babe Lincoln to make this battle much closer as we are all tied up in state groups now. Heinz is going to need to get Washington to the third and Connecticut to the third in order to get that high-tech bonus, or at least one of them. California, we have a clash. Both spend 200K and both head back to zero. Connecticut to the third, so that high-tech bonus does go to Heinz. That'll help him in his pursuit of California. Delaware is locked in. Illinois to the third for Babe as he locks in Louisiana as well. Michigan to the third. I think he's going to get that agriculture bonus. North Dakota entered by Heinz. Nevada. Is that a swipe? That was a swipe and lock of Nevada, spending that swing state money that doesn't have a ton left to go. Meanwhile, Babe Lincoln spends big in Wisconsin to protect that agriculture bonus that he picks up for 57K. Heinz picks up 100K in high tech. So these two staying matched in state group bonuses. But remember that Babe Lincoln, that 2-0 national group bonus, he was able to play that well and not let those state groups steamroll him. But this fight in California is going to be interesting. We'll see how they play it because we could easily go to the ballot. One of these guys could say, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to ignore California. Let the other guy go there. And meanwhile, pip into every other state and try to win this game here and now. Export and Latino are the two state groups still open. Alabama, a swipe attempt, no good, held by Babe. California, 2 pips for Babe as he enters into Idaho as well. Some insurance in Illinois. Maine entered by Heinz. Pressure in Minnesota from Heinz. He swipes Mississippi. A big swipe in Mississippi as he enters into Missouri as well. Rhode Island. South Carolina, another big swipe, spending that AA money to swipe some old South states. Ooh! Well, that was an interesting move. That was a very interesting move. I was going to say a swipe in Wisconsin, but he spends the money just to get even with him in Wisconsin. He takes Old South here late in the game, does Heinz. The current EVs are 202 to 257. Heinz has the cash advantage right now. Getting Old South gives him the state group advantage as well. See if he forces Babe Lincoln to lock in Alabama here. See if Babe tries to swipe back some of those Old South states he lost. But look for Babe to pick up the Latino bonus here and export by getting California? Do we see Heinz try to go for the ballot here? That's, I think, what I'd be doing. Heinz tries to go for the swipe in Alabama, but it is blocked by Babe. He enters into Alaska, California to the third. Pressure in Connecticut from Babe. Hawaii entered by Heinz. Pressure in Idaho. Some insurance spent in Illinois. A clash in Indiana, so we will not have a ballot. That's good news, I think, for Babe Lincoln, as I believe Heinz was maybe going for the ballot. Yes, entered into North Dakota, pressure in Nebraska, entered into New Jersey and Ohio. A clash in Oregon as well. Pressure in Rhode Island. We're getting set up for the ballot, though, in the next turn or two, as they are pressuring into each other's states. What happens here in Wisconsin? Yep, they both go back to square one. It will stay to Babe Lincoln. That swing state money, I guess he had nowhere else to spend it, so he just went to tie for now, unable to take Wisconsin yet. Picking up Latino and export. Over 100K in-state group bonuses added. 252 to 264. We're going to have a fun ballot in this one. Heinz has the cash advantage, but remember, a lot of it is tied up in swing state that he doesn't really have anywhere to spend besides trying to swipe Wisconsin, which I think Babe will keep locking, and just locking in Florida, really. Same with Old South. He's got money locked up there. So this is anyone's game right now. Turn 17. We're under a minute left. Do we go to the ballot this turn, or will we have more clashes? You always love to see it when you're this late in the game, this close to the ballot. Neither competitor is at 270. You know you're going to get a fun ballot. Alabama again, a clash. It'll stay to Babe Lincoln. Alaska pressure there from Heinz. Big money spent and locked by Heinz in Connecticut, as we have pressure in Hawaii. Illinois, big money spent and locked in by Babe. Indiana to the second by Heinz, as well as Kentucky. Ooh, a swipe attempt in Massachusetts. A huge swipe attempt blocked. An awesome block there by Heinz to keep Massachusetts. That's a lot of EVs staying his way. New Jersey to some big states. Tightly contested right now. As so far it looks like we are going to go to the ballot on this turn. It depends on what happened in Wyoming. Yes, we are going to go to the ballot. Wow. What a turn there. What a huge block. If Heinz ends up winning this game, that block in Massachusetts might be the reason why. As we go into the ballot. This tightly contested game is curing my illness, giving me hope. I hope you've enjoyed watching it so far. These two competitors only 70 plus K difference in cash going into this ballot turn. A huge block in Massachusetts. 11 EVs that stay to Heinz. It would basically be flipped around the EV count right now, which is a huge deal here going into the ballot. State groups dead even. Who will walk away? This game has huge implications for the rankings. As these two competitors using every second of that 3-minute timer to calculate the best possible ballot move. Under 30 seconds left as we reach the 30-minute mark of this matchup. Turn 18, the final turn, the ballot turn. Here we go. Alabama is swiped and locked by Heinz. As he's up to 283, Alaska 1 pip swipe for Babe. Idaho, that's another swipe for Heinz, but a big swipe in Indiana from Babe. Kansas goes to Heinz, a swipe by 1 pip, but Kentucky goes to Babe. It's going back and forth. Massachusetts stays. Maine, is that a swipe? No, it stays. It stays in Missouri as well. Montana, there's a swipe, bringing Heinz to 275, but New Jersey, a massive swipe, gives Babe the lead. Another massive swipe in Ohio as he holds Oklahoma. Heinz holds, he swipes Tennessee to make this game a little closer again. Wisconsin, theirs is the swipe. 10 EVs. 265 to 273, a clash in West Virginia. We stay there. Wyoming, a swipe. And that is it. What a ballot. What a ballot turn there. Wow, 276 for Babe Lincoln to, I think, let's see, what was it? Was it 262? It was 276 to 262. A couple huge swipes there at the end in New Jersey and Ohio gives Babe Lincoln the victory and hands the number 3 ranked Heinz Mayo a loss. What a game.